Forgotten Army is absolutely and totally my dream project. When I got an opportunity to make a documentary called The Forgotten Army, wherein I took two veterans of this army, they were both 86 years old at that point in time, Captain Lakshmi Sehgal, commander of the Rani Jhansi Regiment, and Colonel Dhillon, and retraced the route to travel from Singapore through Burma all the way to India. That was for the first time, I think, that we actually managed to get the soldier's perspective. What was their journey in forming that army? What were their dilemmas? It was not as easy as, one night somebody said that we're forming the Azad Hind Fauj. And they all said, okay, we are up for it. Because these are soldiers who had been steeped in the traditions of the British Army. So taking these two veterans back and then reliving that entire journey with them was the seed of the idea for the show. And I often say this is the story that made me want to become a filmmaker. It's the first story I sat down because, I was not from the industry, so I won't get it as my first film. After Kabul Express, I took Forgotten Army to Adi and I said, let's do this. And he looked at it and he loved the story, but he said, it's too big, let's do one more film. Then I did New York, then I did Ek Tha Tiger. And that's how it all went. And after every film, I always wanted to make Forgotten Army. And I'm so glad that when we finally did make it, we made it as a web show, which I think, in a certain sense, surpasses the scale of any of my films. And I was very clear about the fact that it has to be mounted at a certain scale.
जब हम इसका शेड्यूलिंग कर रहे थे तो हमको लगा कि इसमें एक यूनिट से नहीं चलेगा काम, में हमको 2 यूनिट करने पड़ेंगे. इट वाज sometimes very easy to have a A and B unit, and in some places it was not easy, but thanks to Amazon उन्होंने बहुत सपोर्ट किया. जितना हमने बोला कि this is the way we want to shoot, they supported us entirely.
When Kabir said, I want to do a web series, I said, this is a brilliant idea. We must do it. The research work went through all the rough stock जो भी दिखता था. फिर हमने वॉर फिल्म पे भी स्टडी किया एंड देखा कि वो कैसे शूट होता है. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ सीक्वेंसेस व्हिच वर वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू एग्जीक्यूट, लाइक ऑल द रेन सीक्वेंसेस.
In the show like this, which runs for 5 episodes, you have to really do the research into depth.
We have taken the inspiration from the World War to build this.
And to research that, you go to different libraries, then go to Thailand, they have war memorials there, they have museums there.
What is fascinating about this show is everything in the show is factual, is historical and true to what happened. Sodhi, for example, is actually a character who represents what happened with Dhillon, Sehgal and Shahnawaz. What I need to do is I need to be true to the ethos and the soul of what happened with this army. And let me then create characters who can, in a certain sense, take elements from different stories, come together so that the screenplay is dramatic.
Maya.
कैप्टन सोडी.
सोडी जी आते हैं तो कहीं और से आते हैं, माया आती है वो कहीं और से आती है. अरशद जी अलग हैं, रसम्मा बहुत अलग है, राजन बिल्कुल ही अलग है. हर कोई एक अलग तबके को, एक अलग लोगों को, उनके बिहेवियर को, उन सब को लेकर आ रहा है.
And there are some incidents that are so funny. When you see them, you probably think this is, from somebody's imagination. But this is actually verbatim exactly the way it happened. For example, the whole scene of 50 bulls being presented by the Japanese Imperial Army to the Azad Hind Fauj. The story of when they were told by the Japanese that there's a new army being formed is exactly the way it happened with Shahnawaz Khan. These are the moments that made this story so deeply etched into my mind that I could never ever get it out of my mind.
I think it's been our privilege to even call ourselves as actors who did that.
The Forgotten Army for me is always a sacred story. It's as I said, it's for me a story that has always stayed with me. I've always wanted to make it. I'm a very firm believer that the journey is actually more important than the end.
At the end, it doesn't tell you कि यही सही है. It just tells you now ये हुआ है. अब आप चूज करो कि आपको अपनी बैटल कैसे फाइट करनी है.